Okay, today we're going to be talking about the kitchen, and I'm really excited about this one because the kitchen has been my personal, probably biggest pain point in our home that I've had the most trouble with staying on top of and feeling like I can keep under control. So I'm excited to share with you guys what I've been doing that has been so helpful, as well as some things I've tried at different periods of time, like when we didn't have a dishwasher that worked, in order to try and keep on top of it. I have a lot of passion in this room of my house because it used to be by far my most hated household chore, and now I really don't mind it. Like, it doesn't bother me. So I'm so thankful for that. So once again, as with the rest of our house and the videos that we've talked about so far, have a kitchen that works for you and for your family's needs and for what it is that your mission is as far as your kitchen goes. And so this looks so different for everybody. As you see, I have a very small kitchen, and so I'm very selective with what I have in my kitchen because it's so little. And I really need the stuff that I have to be stuff that I use pretty frequently. But the thing that I like to do is I go through my whole entire kitchen, and I do this I probably still do this like once a year. But you go through your whole kitchen, throw away anything that's broken or just garbage or things that you really don't like. And then I do feel like the kitchen is an area it's really fun to have certain items that you don't actually use that often, but have a specialness about them when you pull them out. And so depending on the size of your kitchen and depending on how seriously you want to take your decluttering, I have some items like that I keep that I just really like, that I don't use all the time, but they mean a lot to me and I get a lot of joy from them. So I kind of determine if I'm going to keep something or not in my kitchen based on, is it broken? Is it something that brings me joy? Is it something that I actually do use consistently? And that's kind of how I determine whether to keep something or not. So if you're feeling really overwhelmed in your kitchen and it's not enjoyable to cook there, or you just feel like you can never find what you need, or you just are constantly drowning in dishes, then I recommend you really go through and you purge your cabinets and do it as savagely as you need to do it to feel like your kitchen is an enjoyable place where you can be and you don't feel overwhelmed or like you're just opening up a cabinet and things are just falling out onto you. I don't recommend that. The next thing after that I really recommend, at least if you're at all like myself, is cleaning off your counters. As you can see, my counters are pretty cleaned off. And the reason why I keep them that way is, for one, I like the look of not a lot of visual clutter on my counters. But the second part is really practical. I have anywhere from 1 to 4 little kids helping me cook pretty much every meal of the day. And so the less I have on the counters, the more space I have for them to sit with me, the less I have that they can touch and hold when their hands are gross and just get dirty, and the easier it is for me to wipe the counters off afterward. And so I have found that to be really helpful. We went through about a 2-year span, at least, maybe close to 3 years, where we didn't have a dishwasher here. And so I washed every single dish by hand. And we cooked pretty much all of our meals from scratch. And so it felt like a lot of dishes. And I really struggled to keep on top of it. Something that I did for a while, because I was in such a bad habit of just letting the dishes all pile up and just using so many dishes by the end of the day, like three meals worth of dishes for 6 people each meal is a lot of dishes to do by the end of the day, is that I finally put up in super high cupboards like all the extra plates, all the extra silverware, all the extra cups. I had 6 plates, 6 forks, 6 cups, and maybe 6 spoons out. And that was how I was able to finally get in the habit of having to wash the dishes in between every meal, because if I didn't, there weren't any. And so that is a little trick. If you're really struggling to get in the habit of doing your dishes really consistently, that's one way that can be really helpful. I had them in a higher cabinet because we would have people over and I was able to get a chair, go over there, climb up there, get them down, but it was just difficult enough that I wasn't really tempted to do it when I could just wash a plate instead. But that is one way that you can kind of force yourself to get in the habit of taking care of your dishes after each meal, because there won't be any otherwise. And then once you're in that habit, you just add the other dishes back in. And I found that to be really helpful when I was doing a ton of hand wash. Now, praise the Lord and my husband, I have an awesome dishwasher, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going to share with you guys what I do now that I have my kitchen where it's pretty minimal. I have in here the things that I like. I've gotten rid of things I don't use. I've added some things that I've desperately needed, and how that looks now throughout my day, where I feel like I'm just so much more on top of the dishes. So I'm going to take you through my little kitchen routine, kind of explain it to you guys. And this would also fall really good into the next phase that we're going to be talking about, which is systematizing and routines and strategies and all of that. But I wanted to have this in the decluttering and simplifying section of these videos, just because this is so helpful with having your kitchen stay under control and removing that huge pain point in your life. So this is what I do. It's amazing. It's life-changing, but try it out. See what you think. Find your own system. This is just what I recommend. When I first wake up in the morning, I get up really early. The very first thing I do is I come out and I unload the dishwasher, which I had run during the night, and so it's clean. So I unload the dishwasher and I put all the dishes away. And the reason why I do that is twofold. One, having a mindless task you can do right when you wake up where you're kind of moving around helps you not just immediately sit down and fall asleep if you're going to do, your devotions or something like that. So that's a huge reason why I do it. The other reason though is because then by the time my kids are up and I've cooked breakfast, or as I'm cooking breakfast, I literally can start putting the dishes in. If I got up early because my husband was going to work and I made him breakfast, I immediately put those dishes in. And so then as I make breakfast, the dishwasher is already unloaded. I'm able to put those dishes in. After breakfast, I finish putting any dishes in while my daughter starts her math. And then the kitchen is completely clean. I don't always tackle like the cast iron pan that had eggs in it, because that's just a pain in the rear. I usually save that for the end of the day, honestly. But anything that can go in the dishwasher, I put into the dishwasher after every single meal. So then lunchtime comes. Here's another little strategy for you. We eat leftovers for lunch almost every day that we made from the night before from our dinner. So that cuts down a huge amount on dishes. It also cuts down a huge amount on the time you have to spend cooking another healthy meal if you don't want to just do like hot dog and macaroni and cheese or something, right? So we eat the leftovers from the night before typically, and I don't have a whole bunch more dishes I'm generating. So when you do that, that's so helpful because there's just a lot less dishes that you're having to deal with. The other thing that I'll do though, if we don't have leftovers, is sometimes I'll just literally take like a big cutting board and do basically like a charcuterie board. Like we'll have vegetables, cheese, maybe some chicken or something on it, and all of us eat off of that one cutting board, and we'll take it outside to the picnic table or to a blanket in the yard and read and eat our lunch that way. And that's just another way that you reduce the amount of dishes that you have, and so there's less to wash, which is really nice. And the kids definitely do not mind that. So after that, once I put my kids down for their nap, I will finish cleaning up the kitchen. If there are any of those dishes that need to be like rinsed off, I'll just rinse them off. And I try to always stick them into the dishwasher, or at least wash them off and set them to the side of the sink. And that just makes it so much easier. So the next thing that I do that helps in my kitchen is I actually prep dinner during my kids' afternoon nap time. And this is also just super helpful for multiple reasons. For one, I am able to deal with most of the dishes that I would be making later in the day. Earlier in the day, I'm able to put them into the dishwasher, rinse off the cutting boards, whatever it is, and I don't have all my little helpers there helping me, and so the kitchen just stays a lot cleaner. And you deal with a huge amount of the dishes before it's actually dinner time, and you're in like that rushing time of just trying to get things put together. So I do that, and then I'll clean up the kitchen and put those dishes in the dishwasher. And then when it's a little while before dinner, I'll come in and spend like 15 minutes finishing up, cooking the burgers if that's what I needed to do, or an hour before dinner I'll come in and like stick whatever I prepped into the oven. And this is such a blessing because I spend so much more time now outside with my kids, reading them books, going on walks, getting things done, and not being in the kitchen for such a long period of time, which is just I don't know if it's this way for everybody, but we don't do like any TV or any screens. And so it's just really difficult trying to keep everybody entertained without destroying the house while I'm trying to put together a dinner when it takes me like an hour at one time. So this way I can finish up dinner in like 15 minutes right before we eat, and then all I have are the dishes that I needed in order to like cook that food, and then the dishes that we ate on. And so I finish after dinner putting all those things into the dishwasher, and then whatever is left that I can't fit, I'll just hand wash. And that's how I do the dishes, and that's how I keep my kitchen just so much cleaner, and it's so much less overwhelming. And now I spend probably anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes in the evening cleaning my kitchen, is about how long it takes me on average. And that is just so much different than before, because before it was like at least an hour, especially before I had the dishwasher. And so those things keep my kitchen cleanish, at least during the middle parts of the day. And that's just so nice, because it's no longer a place that I don't enjoy being or working in, which is great because I have to be there 3 times a day. So I hope that this video was helpful. Those are my hacks and tips for you as far as simplifying and decluttering your kitchen goes. And if you have some great tips, please share them down below, because I am always ready to get some more advice and just make it even that much smoother. So I will see you in my next video. All right, talk to you later. Bye.